Bruno. He comes from Portugal like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right. Something. He's a Portuguese magnifico. Bruno. He's about to break the record for assists. There's KDB and Thierry Henry, and very soon it will be Bruno. I just made that up. Oh my gosh. So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Football with Priscilla. I am Priscilla, obviously. So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I just want us to talk about the Manchester United versus Brentford game, in which we saw Manchester United beat Brentford 2-1. But before we get into the video for today, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and do turn your notifications on, ladies and gentlemen, to know when next I post a video. And guys, we are on the road to 800 subscribers. We are just literally 50 or 49 subscribers away from 800, okay? The aim is to get to 1,000 by December. Can we do it? Of course, we can. Yay. Okay, so let's get into the video for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I've been making a lot of YouTube shorts because I normally make the YouTube shorts when I'm walking to work, because I'm like, I have nothing to do. I'm walking to work. I might as well talk about football. So I've been making a lot of YouTube shorts, and my long form content has kind of suffered. So I was like, hey, let's bring back the long form content, which I absolutely love. And listen, I am always going to make a long form video with regards to Manchester United and them being third on the table. Okay, so guys, Manchester United played Brentford, okay, in a game which was nervy towards the end, and even leading up to the game, I think I was nervous because Liverpool, guys, is right behind us, okay? Liverpool is like 3 points behind us, and they played their game and they won. I think, was that versus Everton? I think versus Everton or something. And they won, and they were like 3 points behind Manchester United. And I was like, oh my gosh, we cannot afford to drop points versus Liverpool. I think when they won, they came level with us. And this Brentford game was a must win for us because, ladies and gentlemen, as you'd have it, okay, there has been a calculation that's going around the internet saying Manchester United only needs 6 points, okay, from their next 5 games. That was plus the Brentford game at the time. From their next 5 games plus the Brentford game, which is like 5. So now we have 4 because they've already played Brentford. But in the 5 games that were leading up to the 5 games, there was a calculation that came, a stat that said Manchester United only needed 6 points from the 5 games, right? So now we beat Brentford. We have 4 more games to go, and technically we only need 3 points. So that was on my head. And you know, playing Brentford is never easy. Yes, Brentford was coming to the Old Trafford, but Manchester United and the Theatre of Dreams, we are no longer a fortress like that, okay? So going into this game, I was very nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what if we drop points? Liverpool is right behind us. There's Aston Villa. Brentford is not an easy team. What's going to happen? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United and Carrick came through for us. Well, it's Sesko and Casemiro that came through for us. But anyway, they're a team. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here's my first point with regards to the game. Now, guys, I feel like the first, is it 20 minutes? I think Manchester United were in control. We were fast. We were moving the ball. Our touches were quick. Our touches were fast. There was a lot of intensity. And I thought we'd get like 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, which we did not. But hey, okay, we played well. The game kept on going. I feel like Brentford kept on getting comfortable in the game, and they kept on coming at us. That was in the first half. But that, ladies and gentlemen, we ended up scoring 2 goals in the first half. Okay, we had a Sesko goal, and then we also had a Casemiro header. Like, Casemiro, what are you doing at home? Like, is he just heading balls at home? Because clearly he's been working on his header technique, because I don't see there's anyone that can match Casemiro's headers in the Premier League this season. He scored how many goals from headers? Like, at this point, he's the most dangerous person in the 18-yard area when there's a set piece or anything. Like, his positional sense is crazy. It's absolutely insane. But that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I think the first 20 minutes we played well. We allowed Brentford into the game. Brentford came coming at us. Manchester United, obviously, were the more clinical side, even though I think Brentford outplayed us, right? Brentford outplayed us. So unfortunately, they were not clinical. Manchester United was clinical with a nice goal from Casemiro, and I think a very good goal by Benjamin Sesko with an assist by Bruno Fernandes. Now, With the Sesko goal, I'm going to say I was nervous. I thought he would be nervous. I thought, he stopped the ball. I was like, okay, he's gonna miss it. But he was calm, cool, collected, and he just, shoot the ball, and we got a goal, and it was 2-0. We're 2-0 by the second half. The whole time I was saying, take it to halftime at 1-0, and thank God Sesko came through for us, and we went into the second half 2-0. So, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I think the first half was okay. Second half, I think we let Brentford play us. That was the nerviest second half. Is nervous actually a word? I have no idea. I was so nervous in that second half because any slight mistake. 2-0 in the Premier League is never a comfortable scoreline. Never. 1-0 is as good as 0-0. 2-0 is as good as 1-0. So you're never comfortable. But, especially when they got their goal back and it was like 2-1, I was like, it's over. It's over. It's gonna end into a draw, or Brentford is gonna beat us. But that's not the case. We had a solid backline. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, that is my first point. I feel like the first time we played well. Second half, we allowed Brentford into the game, and they ended up, scoring. Second point, ladies and gentlemen, I just want us to talk about my standout players for the game. The first one, Heaven. Okay, Heaven. I feel like not a lot of people are talking about him, but he was absolutely immense. Okay, I've forgotten the number 9 for Brentford's name, but he was huge, and up against Heaven, it felt like it was an unfair battle, but the kid held himself very well. Yes, he was being bullied, but he managed to stand his ground. The amount of shots that Heaven blocked was absolutely amazing to witness. He's coming into his own, and I feel Heaven plays much better when he's got an experienced defender besides him, who was Harry Maguire. But if someone told you this is our defense, and you told them does it seem like there's any player that is new or young and upcoming, they wouldn't point at Heaven because he was absolutely amazing at the back line. The other standout player, ladies and gentlemen, Sané Lamens. Okay, Lamens was absolutely immense. The shots that he stopped reminded me of David De Gea. Now, the whole time I was thinking about it, what if Onana was the person on the pitch? How would that game have finished? This is why having a good goalkeeper is very, very important for every team. And we have learnt it the hard way. But Lamens, absolutely amazing. Casemiro? Big game Miro? How? Casemiro has been an absolute revelation. How is he playing as our number 6 and our number 9 at the same time? His headers, like I said earlier on, his positional awareness, his positional sense, the way he's able to pinpoint where he wants the header to go is absolutely insane. At that age, I think he's 34 now, he's able to cover on the midfield, and he's able to go up front and score goals. And he's also able to contribute to more goals. It's crazy. Towards the end, we saw how he was playing the game. There was that set piece. It was a corner where, the guy from Brentford kicked the ball. And then someone just did this to Casemiro, and then he fell. And the referee was like, oh, it's a foul. Those were not fouls, let's be honest. But Casemiro made the most out of every foul that he got. And he kept on buying us time, right? And that's just how experienced he is. And I think he was absolutely immense. For those 3 points we got versus Brentford, Casemiro was absolutely immense, okay? For me, ladies and gentlemen, amongst these 3 is where my man of the match comes out. And I know people are saying Casemiro. I think my man of the match could be Lamens. I feel like it was absolutely immense. And not a lot of people were talking about Lamens. It's normal. It's not normal, okay? The kid has been saving us. So for me, my man of the match was Lamens. But Lamens, Heaven, and Casemiro, absolutely my standout players. The other thing that I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, Bruno Fernandes, okay? Bruno. He comes from Portugal like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right. Something. He's a Portuguese magnifico. Bruno. He's about to break the record for assists. There's KDB and Thierry Henry, and very soon it will be Bruno. I just made that up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so Bruno is 2 assists away from breaking the record and making a record for himself. He's on 19 assists. I think the record holders are Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne with 20 assists. So if he gets an assist, he breaks the record. And then if he gets another assist, he makes a record of his own. Bruno Fernandes, I need you to do this for us Manchester United fans. Because listen, if Bruno breaks a record and creates a record for himself, we don't care who's winning the Premier League. We don't care who's winning the UEFA Champions League. That will be our trophy. That will be our bragging rights. If Arsenal win the Premier League, they'll be like, oh, we won the Premier League. And we'll be like, well, does anyone in your team hold any records? Bruno, you need to give me those bragging rights. Please, I need them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the other point that I want to talk about, which is my last point, is Michael Carrick, okay? Michael Carrick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we saw how the game went. First half, I think, like I said, we were okay, but then we allowed Brentford to be comfortable. Leading up until the second half, we all saw that we were struggling. Okay, Brentford were running through our midfield. Brentford were using their wingers. Luke Shaw and Dalot were looking stressed. Okay, and I'm glad Carrick noticed that. I think he made a substitution at halftime immediately. Ahmad was out off the pitch and he brought in Mazraoui to make the back line even more compact, which shows that Michael Carrick, ladies and gentlemen, is able to make tactical changes, which I'm all for it. I was very happy. It was a good thing that Michael Carrick did. It's good that Michael Carrick, ladies and gentlemen, is able to, he's able to change tactics. He's not one-track minded. Tactically, he's trying his best. Now, I know because of that, a lot of people are like, see, you guys who don't want Michael Carrick to be our new coach, he's able to change tactics, he's able to read the game. Cool. I'm okay with that, okay? I understand that. For me, even after seeing Michael Carrick leading us into the Champions League, which credit to the guy, he's done absolutely amazing. I still think he's not the right man for the job. My argument is this. We have not been playing in the FA Cup. We were knocked out in January. Carabao, I don't remember when we were knocked out. We have not been in the Champions League. We're not in the Europa League. Essentially, the only thing we've been playing this season, ladies and gentlemen, has been the Premier League. So I just feel like it's very risky, okay? It's risque for us to judge Michael Carrick over games that we're playing once a week, once every 2 weeks. That's where that's what I'm basing my argument on. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying, would he have done this if we were in the Champions League and playing the Premier League? Would he have balanced both well? I don't know. That is why it's scary for me to say, oh, let's give Carrick the job. He's playing once a week. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we not seeing about that? So people that are coming for people like me who are saying, hey, we're not comfortable with Michael Carrick, that is our basis for our uncomfortability. And after the Man City and Arsenal game, Manchester United really haven't controlled the game. We haven't really changed. We've been able to grind out results, but we haven't changed. We have a style of play, which is a counter-attacking style, but come next season and we're in the Champions League and we have the FA Cup, we've got the Carabao Cup. Are we able, is the counter-attacking football able to sustain us? Is it sustainable? I think not. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, I still feel like Michael Carrick is not the right man for Manchester United. Don't ask me who I think the right man is for Manchester United. I don't know, okay? I haven't yet gone around searching for the right coach for Manchester United. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, my thoughts on Michael Carrick. Credit to him, he has done absolutely amazing for Manchester United, but I still think he's not the right man for the Manchester United job. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I had for you guys today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Keep on sharing, liking, and subscribing. Let me know in the comments section below, guys, what do you think about Michael Carrick? Am I being difficult? Should I give the guy a chance? Am I the problem? I would love to hear all your thoughts. So that's all I had for you guys today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and do turn your notifications on, ladies and gentlemen, to know when next I post a video.